This will likely be a very short video. It's late here. I am a little tired, usually tired when I make these videos. I am almost a week late doing the new moon forecast. You'll have to forgive me on this one. I have been doing a lot of, well, it's been an intense month, we'll say. 6 weeks. It's been intense. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and we'll see if I can string some sentences together and give you guys some insight. I didn't go through and watch the new moon forecast from the last time. I think if you did watch those videos, the thing that I remember, there was an issue possibly with some escalation and tensions between, some world powers and whatnot. That looked like that did happen. So it's not great. Cursory glance. I haven't honestly had time to even dig into it so far this month, but it's not looking great. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. But for those of you who actually care, this is for all like 10 people who watch this video. The lat long here, we're at the Giza pyramids, and this is for the time of the new moon at Giza, which was 9:05 a.m. on the 20th. So this video won't post till the 27th. So I'm like a week late. So I really apologize. Okay, let's go ahead, get rid of some of these things. And for those of you who don't know, I'm doing ancient astrology, sidereal astrology. So if this looks different than what you're used to, that's probably what's going on. All right, do I want to leave this? Maybe I'm gonna leave this for a second. Yeah, let's leave it up. Let's do a little bit differently today. Okay, so as you can see, or maybe you can't see. All right, this, if you don't know, this is Pisces. This was originally a swallow and not necessarily a fish. It was both the fish and the swallow were sacred to Anunnatun, if not Anunnatun herself. She was a very watery, psychic, magical, mystical goddess. And so this energy is kind of pouring out of here. I would say the swallow, possibly a dove, depending on who you talk to. Over on this side, a little bit more representing that peaceful, maybe less watery, less psychic, maybe more material side of Anunnatun. All of that energy that I just talked about is all wrapped up here in Ketis. This was Tiamat. She was the primordial mother goddess, and she was the original mother of dragons. She was the sea. Her consort Absu was the freshwater, and they intermingled and created all of life and so on and so forth. Okay. So this placement right here, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to try, oh, no, not that one. I'm going to try it right here. Okay. As you can see, Jupiter is right above the horizon. Venus is right behind it. It looks beautiful in the sky. By the way, if you got a chance to go out and check this out, you could see the sky. It wasn't cloudy or anything. This is gorgeous to see with your actual eyeballs. But this placement here, this is a very spiritual time. There's something very profound happening again to the world at large. We don't know how this is affecting you individually unless we take a look at your natal chart. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know. I'm happy to handle that for you. But overall, this could be a very powerful time for peace. We'll say. In order to do that, though, we all have to be very honest with ourselves. We all have to, I say we, I mean, I'm talking about world powers if you guys haven't really figured that out. Namely between, well, you know who I'm talking about. We need to be working on healing. We need to actively take a role in making things better. If we just let things continue to fall apart, which they absolutely can, that's probably not going to be good. I'm just letting you. We should all, while Jupiter is in Pisces, we should all be more likely to be dealing with karmic relationships right now, especially the romantic relationships. Any traveling you're doing, you're going to be more likely drawn to places that you have lived in previous lifetimes. Hopefully you are able to take those trips and have those experiences. They should be very healing for you, both physically and emotionally. I'll tell you what, you guys, and I say guys because I'm from the Midwest. If you can't tell from my accent, we call everybody guys. If you aren't already doing your inner work and working on healing yourself, going way down deep, this is the time to do it. Venus's placement here gives you access to just profound, transcendental levels of existence. Okay, like just dig down, go in, and be amazed at the miracles that start to come into your life. Okay, and we on a global level can access these things too, but we all got to kind of chip in and make it happen. I know some places are trying, other places it seems like they are falling apart at the seams. Maybe you know, the last stages of an empire, so to speak. So it's hard to say what's going on there. Now, the sun goes into Aquarius every year. So maybe we don't see this as a time that's very exciting because it happens a lot. However, it is very close to Saturn at the same time. And it's conjunct with the moon. Well, you know, the moon and the sun are going to be conjunct during the new moon. But this is a very important, this is a time for, we're going to call it change. And this is any work that's being done to teach and share and communicate with others. This is going to be enhanced during this time, but we have to do it from a place of honesty. Again, this is the time to be going way deep down and figuring yourself out, figuring how you want to contribute to society and your, not just yourself and your family, but you know, society as a whole. We all have a role to play in that, and it's important that you understand what that role is for you as well. But this placement, if you don't already know, by the way, Saturn was seen as a second sun, was a planet of the sun. This was Ninurta, the god of agriculture. He was a healer. He later became more of a god of war, but originally he was much more a family man, and still very adventurous, still a slayer of demons, as all healers were back in the day. So this is a powerful time for us to all, as a whole, make massive strides forward, but we have to put the work in. Okay. I don't really like to go too political on these things, but if you are in a country where taking a political stand is allowed and you can communicate with your representatives, if you live in what, you know, they claim to be a democracy, like this is a time to do those things. Go to your city council, go to rallies, go to whatever you need to do. But it's coming up onto the, like, we're coming down to the wire. People have to do what they can with the resources that they have. So if you're in survival mode, obviously that may not be an option for you right now. If that's the case, definitely go way down deep, do your inner work. But you should be learning a lot of things about yourself right now. You should be discovering new ways to look at the world around you. And that's definitely something that we can probably all benefit from. Opening the mind, you know, not being so closed off to, not canceling everybody, not being outraged at everything. Like, let's just be done with that. What do you say? Mercury's placement over here in the middle of Capricorn does, again, we're not just communicating with others, we're also a little bit more, we're listening a little bit more, and we're a little bit more open and receptive to some of that emotional energy and that healing energy and mindset that hopefully some people have. Okay, so let's go ahead and now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I just wanted to focus on these a little bit more. Let's jump down here. Where did I want to go next? Let's go to, okay, so we still have Mars in Taurus. It's been here for a while. It is making its way out. I think that overall this is good news, namely because as it gets closer to not just Gemini, but this club here for Orion, this was actually the tip of the staff of the true shepherd of Anu. And he was a king, somebody in a position to make decisions. He was honest, he was noble, he was a phenomenal leader. In Egypt, this was Sahu, or later on Osiris. And so we're still dealing with kingship and successful rulership, being very honest in this very powerful paternal role. So as Mars moves closer to this, we're less likely to deal with some of the more chaotic energy that can come with Mars's close placement to the Pleiades in particular. So that's good news. It is still very sensitive. And even as it moves towards Gemini, it is giving us the ability to connect with each other, to be very sensitive to each other. But with a lot of that sensitivity comes with the potential for getting feelings hurt. We still got a little ways to go, although the feelings hurt can happen in Mars and Taurus too. So it's kind of evening out a little bit more. Hopefully, again, we're moving in the right direction. Do what you can, even if all you can do is work on your internal stuff, you guys. Like, we gotta do something here, because dire straits, you know, it's rough in certain parts of the world and very possibly gonna get worse. Let me go ahead and just pull this up and see what's coming up for us. The 22nd, that was a few days back, we did have a conjunction, like a very close conjunction between the moon and Venus. Again, gorgeous outside if you had the opportunity to see any of these things going on in the sky. Obviously, that would have seen it. Well, probably in the evening. And it was right here between Jupiter. Let me go back just a few. Oh, where did you go, moon? Come back. Yeah, so if we go like right here, was right there in between everything, just beautiful, whole psychic time. So hopefully if you are not engaged in some sort of just rituals or spiritual rituals or meditation, you didn't, you weren't doing your drum circle or whatever you're doing, you still got some of these effects, probably had more psychic dreams during this time if you were asleep. Well, it was right here, but I mean, it's literally moving within hours. So are we going here? Okay, but you probably still would have gotten the effects of it. Okay, so let me pop back up. We are going to go to, now I'm all spun around onto the 23rd. Let's see here. Yes, even the 24th, we're still dealing with primal creativity and intuition. Hopefully you got to take advantage of that. Let's see. So then on the 25th, which was yesterday, the moon starts to, it's also conjunct with Uranus. That's beside the point. Moon started to go into Taurus. By the way, if you don't know, if you hear me like skipping over Aries, it's because Aries is not really an important constellation. It likely is an addition, a late addition to the zodiac. When we are dealing with that Aries power that people describe, that energy and all that good stuff, that's really just pouring out of this right here, this head of Tiamat, which is right here in the same portion of the sky, and gets a lot of this fish of Anunatum also. So they're all just kind of wrapped up in here. And if I ever skip over it and I don't talk about Aries, that's what's going on. Okay. So as it started to move into, we're still not, I want you to be in the middle of the screen, and you're not being in the middle of the screen for me. There we go. Okay. So as it moves into Taurus, it is a fragile time, shall we say. Taurus is very curious. It wants to listen. It wants to serve. It wants to be patient. But if the conditions are right, it can be very destructive, and it can go way overboard. So depending on what Taurus looks like in your chart, this could be a time of possible self-destruction, or maybe a little destruction in your life and the world around you. Or this could be a time where you are tuned in and you are engaging as a servant and being much more generous, kind, compassionate. Hopefully that's the road that you decided to take. Let's see. So then we're going to come up here by some hours. And as you can see, I'm moving forward. And then on the 28th at around 6 in the morning, if you're in Giza, that is going to, the moon is going to be conjunct here with Mars. That is possibly great, but also possibly terrible. A lot of times, if you go back and read the omens, when things were in the halo of the moon, or they were in like the same portion of the sky as the moon, things went down. Okay, stuff went down. As you may or may not know, Mars was Nergal, the god of war and pestilence and destruction and drought, famine, all of those things. Now, Nergal was not a bad deity. I just want to make that clear. He was a romantic, we'll say, but he also was beseeched for protection, for healing, for the demon slaying and things like that. So not a bad deity, just somebody had to be the god of those things, and it was him. But this placement here could make for a very intense couple days from now. So the day after this video probably posts. So something worth paying attention to when we're looking at global events. This could definitely be, it could be or a particularly bad day on the battlefield, so to speak, if you're following all of those things. It's very depressing. Hopefully you're not following it too closely unless you absolutely have to. One of the things this can also do, though, is it can give you as an individual the ability to overcome your personal emotions. Phenomenal time to meditate and to really conquer yourself. So if you missed some of these earlier opportunities to work on, do the inner work, this is a phenomenal time to do it. If you do any ritual work and you want to really want to activate your inner eye, your mind's eye, your Ajna chakra, you can do those things too. This is all happening right where we have this conjunction with Jupiter and Venus. This is if you're trying to conceive children, this is a very good time to do it. If you want to do that at 6 in the morning, you don't have to do it at 6 in the morning in Giza, although I guess that would be good for you. It would work better. But like this, you'll get this for a few days, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to jump on it right in that time. Okay, but this goes back to this potentially negative placement. If things go awry, there is a potential for Venus, you know, even though, yes, Inanna was the goddess of love and beauty, and she was the lady of heaven, she was also the goddess of war. And so it's just a really, really intense, unstable time. I didn't realize it until, because we didn't talk about it. It was around, I believe it was around the full moon this last month that we had all of those earthquakes, and, you know, there's a lot going on, and a lot of that intensity is still hanging out. And I'm not saying there's going to be more earthquakes, although if you're not already aware of it, the moon does impact the frequency of earthquakes, especially around the new and the full moon. With everything else that was going on last month, it's not super surprising, but I'm telling you, like, this is like, pray, just pray, you know. Now on a personal level, it's much easier to control what's going on in your life. You can't really control global events quite as much. So just, you know, again, do what you can. The more peaceful you are internally, the better things can be. So definitely go that route. Okay, what else are we looking at here? We have, yes, so this seems to, on the 3rd, we're still have this conjunction over here. Moon goes in it. I'm not going to break down all of these, moon in this, moon in that. I can do that, but I'm just not going to do that today. Let's see. So we're moving up. We're going to go all the way to, let me back up. Okay, so Mars by the 12th is already making its way right into that. Okay, this is important too. So we have the moon conjunct with Antares. Hold on. So this is the Lisi star, if you're not aware. She was the lamenting goddess. She was known to be able to soothe the hearts of angry deities or when people were upset and that type of thing. So this is a good time for relationships, for communicating with, listening to people. If you have been struggling with a relationship and you want to do some sort of work to improve those, this is the time to do it. If you were waiting to reach out to somebody, it's been a while, maybe you want to reconnect, phenomenal time to do that too. What else is going on in here? Is that definitely the case? Yes, especially with Mars already moving out of Taurus, it's definitely going to be better. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, hold on. So then let's go up here. Okay, so on the 15th, we do have the moon occupying the literal center of the galaxy. This is more powerful time for meditation. Intuition should be stellar, unless your mind is, if you're an overanalyzer and your mind's always wandering, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. So you definitely want to be doing that work in the interim before this comes up so that you can take advantage, but this is a very powerful placement. It doesn't really matter the exact hour, by the way. If you're looking at this and you're like, was that 4 o'clock in the morning? Don't worry about that. You're still going to be getting it throughout the day. Okay, and then we're going to go up to, let's go right up into the 21st. Let me go back though. We do have still, you're supposed to be in the center moon. What's going on? All right, so right around 10 p.m. on the 19th, we do have a conjunction with the moon and Saturn. This, again, I want to beat the dead horse for you. Saturn is nothing bad. This is a good time, again, for some inner work if you do any type of creative work. It's also a good career indicator. Now for the global side of things, while there is a war going on and some major world powers are having all of these tensions and whatnot, this might not be the best thing. But for you as an individual, this is much better. So again, kind of just pay attention and lots of prayer. We do also have the sun and Mercury moving right in here. Oh, let's see. Hold on. What's going on? Let me back up. Okay, now I want the sun to move. See if I can manage all of these things. Oh, we're going hour by hour. Why are we doing that? Okay, so this was actually right around, so I'm going by the actual placement of the planet in the heavens, just so you know. So this is around the 11th. The sun is moving into Pisces, literally, like it's literally now in the constellation. But we do have a Sun-Mercury conjunction around the 17th. Heightened intelligence, you got to take any tests during this time. Good for you. You should be able to pull some of the answers out of the ether, so to speak. Everybody should be enjoying, like dreams should be intensified, more visions. If you're doing the inner work, then you're going to have more intense visual experiences. It's going to heighten everything. Let's see here. And then we get to the 20th. Let's go to the 21st. So now all of this, and I'm going to talk about this more next month, hopefully prior to the new moon, but on the next new moon, we are now moving into what equates to spiritual destiny. So what's been going on over the last couple months, last month, this month, everything's kind of culminating, and it's going to be big one way or the other. Just pray, I guess, is what we need to do. It's probably just as well I'm not formulating words as much as I should be. Justice is coming, and let's just hope that the next, well, now 3 weeks, I guess, goes without, major incident. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I am going to try to make more videos. Again, this was a very busy month for me, and unusually so. I won't bore you with all of the details, but I will get better at making these videos for you. I wanted to make, what was I going to make some on? There was something I wanted to talk about, and now I just don't know what it was. I'm not even going to try to remember. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so if you found this helpful, you probably won't know if you found it helpful until a few weeks from now. But if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe, share, because I don't have social media except for YouTube, which I don't know if that counts as social media. So we want to get the word out. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to email me. I'll put my contact information in here. You can also schedule a session with me, or reading, whatever kind, natal predictive, karmic, whatever. I do it all. Other than that, please just take very good care of yourself and the people around you, but not at the expense of yourself. Got to find the balance. Okay. So love yourself and everyone around you in turn. Okay. With that, I'm going to go to sleep. So I'll see you next time.